Harry's Wife, part 101.11. She's destroyed him. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor, using the plethora of material that has sprung up as of late, following the death of Queen Elizabeth and, of course, the involvement of Harry's wife, to help you understand more about narcissism, its impact, and its dynamic. I turn to another news source, and as always, I leave it for you to determine the veracity with regard to the material that I refer to. I provide you with an interpretation. And something called soapoperaspy.com, which kind of gives you an indication of the direction in which we're going. And an article by Nix Abasta tells us, Royal expert claims Harry's wife destroyed Prince Harry. Well, I've just been watching some footage of him, and he doesn't look destroyed to me. Certainly he's in a sustained devaluation, as I've explained previously. Browbeaten, downtrodden, and of course their suggestion that there was some kind of physical altercation involving Harry's wife and Harry, because he was seen with scratches on the side of his face. More about that in an upcoming video. There's also a witness stating that there was a verbal altercation between the two, with her putting up the old talk to the hand because the face ain't listening gesture. Unsurprising, the narcissist, of course, will assert control over him using malign methods as he is in the sustained devaluation. As I've explained to you before, and those of you who have been involved with narcissists, when you're the primary source, i.e. spouse, partner, cohab, boyfriend, girlfriend, will know that you have the golden period when you're drawn in. It's all sexy seduction, unicorns and rainbows. Then you're embedded and you still continue with the golden period, and then it turns to devaluation. There are lots of different forms that devaluation can take, but when you're the intimate partner primary source, you will always be devalued. Thereafter, that dynamic continues of devaluation, respite period, devaluation, respite period, until either the victim escapes, which is unusual, or one of the 5 disengagement triggers occurs. Watch my video, The 5 Reasons the Narcissist Leaves You, to understand more. But if neither of those events occur, then the victim and the narcissist do the dance until one dies. Devaluation, respite, devaluation, and respite. And at the moment, that's where Prince Harry finds himself. It's unusual for a narcissist to destroy somebody. It can happen. But more usually, the narcissist jettisons the individual before that occurs. But what's Soap Opera Spy telling us? Well, the Royal News and Updates said that a royal expert believes that Harry's wife has destroyed Prince Harry since their marriage, and she's the reason why he's totally changed. The royal expert also said that she had taught Prince Harry to hate his family. If perhaps they're talking about Prince Harry as we once knew him being destroyed, I would say that's accurate. Of course, in terms of saying that he's completely destroyed, well, he's still moving around, and the old pink pods are still jiggling about, so he's not been destroyed in that sense. Has he changed? Indeed he has. And many of you will recognise for yourself, where you were ensnared by a narcissist, that you changed. You may have lost interest in certain things. You may have become more aggressive. You may have started cheating. You found yourself in a difficult position. You may have lost interest in your job or struggled to do it. You might not have looked after your children as well as you ought to have done. Your finances may well have been wrecked, your physical and mental health shredded. These are many of the outcomes that occur when you have the misfortune to be ensnared by our kind. In an episode of Piers Morgan Uncensored, who else, royal expert Angela Levin shared with Jeremy Kyle, who stepped in for Morgan, how much Prince Harry has changed since marrying Harry's wife. Having spent time with the prince in the past, Levin can say that Prince Harry doesn't seem to have the courage to say anything against his wife. He will lie because he doesn't want to upset her. He would just let her do everything. And that is correct. It's often the case that even the spunkiest and fieriest of individuals, when faced with the repeated sustained devaluation of the narcissist, become browbeaten. They shrink into their shell, and they don't fight back any longer. They basically want to keep the peace. They want to ensure that they are no longer being threatened, beaten. insulted, shouted at, and so forth. And that often means losing friendships, losing family relationships, and going along with the yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full sir. Or in this case, yes ma'am, no ma'am, 3 bags full ma'am. Levin continued, and she's made a total wreck of him. I spent 1.25 years with him, and he's totally changed. He's just become resentful and aggressive, and she's taught him how to hate his family, Levin further explained. What I see there is that Harry's wife's narcissism has utilised the vulnerability that Harry has with regard to his narcissistic trait of resentment. There's always been a festering resentment by old ginger bollocks with regard to the royal family, in the sense that they didn't protect his mother. Harry's wife comes along and exploits that. They didn't protect your mother. They won't protect me. They won't protect us. How would you feel if you lost me in the way that you've lost your mother? Of course, her narcissism makes her believe that she's being kind when she says these things, but she's being far from kind. Instead, what's happening is that she is engaging in a manipulation of Harry to triangulate him with his own family, to triangulate him with his mother's death, and indeed cause him to perhaps not hate, that might be too strong, but certainly be resentful and defiant, both narcissistic traits, towards his extended family. Levin stated, Prince Harry and Prince Charles got on very well before and were very compatible, despite having problems earlier. And she's just destroyed him, and I think he's up a terrible, terrible situation at the moment. What is this woman up to? What is Harry's wife's motivation for continually, it seems, drawing attention to herself whilst kicking the very institution that has been long before her and will last long after her? I don't get it, Jeremy Kyle asked. Well, Mr. Kyle, if you watched my videos, you'd have all the answers. It's not just the UK. It's happening all around the world. The people who are seeing right through her, Levin explained. I think her aim is to get rid of the British royal family without a doubt, and part of that is because she has to win. She fights and goes on until she wins, Levin said. She isn't aiming to get rid of the British royal family at all. That could be a collateral consequence of her behaviours, but she is not that far-reaching in terms of calculating behaviour, as I've explained repeatedly, with regard to the nature of her mid-range narcissism. Levin also believes that Harry's wife wants everything her way, indeed, because that affords the control, and she didn't even give her royal family life a chance. She wanted to change the institution she joined, but she couldn't have everything her way all the time. That's why she wouldn't stay and try to fit in. Harry's wife thought she wasn't treated well by the British family. In fact, what it was, of course, was that she wasn't used to it. Levin explained, you can't change your country, change your family, change your job, come into something that's very unusual and decide within 5 minutes you want to make them modern and they should listen to you. Correct, but a narcissist would do. A narcissist driven by the narcissism and the sense of entitlement would have no hesitation in saying, it has to be this way. The narcissist wouldn't recognise that this is a centuries-old institution, because the narcissist wouldn't allow that to be recognised. Thus, there is the suggestion that she has destroyed Harry, and it would be accurate to say that she has destroyed the Harry that existed before. But the good news is that should there be intervention, and that he's pulled away, or if he's disengaged from, then there is the opportunity for the old Prince Harry to return in time, as her toxic influences will no longer impact upon him to the extent that they already are. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.